Today on race day, 500 miles on the Winston Cup menu at Talladega, and Andretti's got the early jump on speed. But cousin Michael takes a backseat to a record-setting Penske car. The kart champ machines tackling Nazareth. And another record on track. WJ cracks the 200-mile-an-hour barrier in pro stock. Grab the umbrellas. We're rolling forward on race day, Sunday, April 27th, 1997. Well, good race day to you. I'm Rick Benjamin. From Richmond to Nazareth to Talladega, we're planning on high speeds, but it could be a day of heavy rains on our menu. We'll fill you in the next 30 minutes. We open up in Alabama today, where the Winston Cup stars are slated to take to the fastest speedway anywhere today. 500 miles at Talladega on tap, but the biggest story of the weekend by far has been Mother Nature. Rain washed out second-round Winston Cup qualifying. Could do the same to today's event. Race Day's Matt Yoakum is there for us. Matt, what's the forecast for today?
Rick, at this juncture, it's raining in Talladega. It seems like every time we come here, strange and mysterious things happen. Maybe it's because the track is built on ancient Indian burial grounds, but nonetheless, a lot of drivers have scored their first career victory here and never won again. John Andretti hopes that does not hold true, as he's already halfway home to picking up his first career victory as he starts on the pole with a speed of 193.6 miles per hour.
Poles and wins are what you're here for, so pole is big, but a win is bigger, so hopefully we can finish out the weekend, take some Unocal money home.
Ford swept the front row as former Talladega winner Bobby Hillin starts a career-best second. Dale Earnhardt and Bill Elliott have 9 Talladega wins between them. Both caught their season's best starts.
Ever since I won here, I've always denied the Talladega jinx, but lately I've been beginning to wonder about it. And so every time I come back here, I think, well, when we win at Talladega again, then it'll take the jinx off of us and we go to other places to be more successful. So that's kind of the game plan there.
Our car's running good. It's the same car we crashed at Daytona, and it's they put a new body on and everything's looking good. So get this weather out of here, get a break in the weather, we'll go racing.
Bad news for driver Jeff Gordon, who won the last trip to Talladega. In 55 Talladega races, only 9 drivers have won from outside of the top 10. That's only 16% since 1969.
We got to just think about what we're doing, our goals, championship, and just coming in here and getting a good finish.
2 new rule changes this week came into effect. Unlike Daytona, teams didn't have to hang weights on the car before qualifying. Second, teams had to deal with 2 new roof templates, cutting out the practice of innovative roof lines, leaving quite a few teams doing some last-minute body work.
We made some changes, didn't have a lot of time today, but as I said, we did our testing down here, one set of rules, and then they bring something else. So we just had to adjust as quickly as we could, and things haven't changed for the race on Sunday, so I think we'll be pretty good there.
Well, this is the latest radar from the Talladega Superspeedway, which is right smack dab in the center of the screen. This whole line of showers extends 400 miles all the way to Texas. It's moving about 10 miles per hour. You do the math. Things don't look good today. About 90% chance of rain, Rick.
Matt, could they race tomorrow? What about the weather for Monday?
Well, tomorrow doesn't look that much better. 70% chances of rain. The problem is that next weekend is Sonoma. So if we don't get the race in tomorrow, teams will have to pack up Monday night and head out first thing Tuesday morning. So Monday is a drop-dead date to get this one in. If we don't go this weekend, expect a race Mother's Day weekend. Rick?
All right, thanks, Matt. Here's the line on today's Talladega Bash, assuming we go racing. Just who's tops when it comes to mastering restrictor plate tracks. Dale Earnhardt leads the way, 7 victories. Sterling Marlin close behind. Point leader Jarrett has 2 plate victories, both at Daytona and the 500. We'll have more on the activities at Talladega coming up in a couple of moments. Well, plenty of news off track this week on Winston Cup racing. A U.S. District Court judge in North Carolina ruling that the Food and Drug Administration does not have the authority to restrict cigarette advertising. That appears to clear the way for Winston to continue its sponsorship of NASCAR's top circuit. And elsewhere is silly season about to begin in Winston Cup racing. Plenty of indications that some seat swaps could be imminent in the Winston Cup Series. Among the teams perhaps involved, Robert Yates Racing's 28 car and driver Ernie Irvan. Ernie in Nashville earlier this week showing off an old, new paint job on the Texaco Haviland Ford.
4 years is a lot of your life. I mean, it's not like a marriage deal. It's something where you choose sides and you race together, and we've won a lot of races with Ernie and certainly had a good shot at a championship. I want to remember all those good memories, and hey, if I feel like we can get that situation going again, why should we not stay together for another 4 years?
So Robert Yates not sure yet if a change may be in order in the 28 car. A legend in one sport could well be coming to motor racing. NBA Hall of Famer Julius Erving said to be leading a group that plans to start a Winston Cup team for 1998. Irving and former NFL running back Joe Washington among those interested in going racing. Theirs would be the only African-American-owned Winston Cup team at this point. We wish them well as they prepare to get started. For the first time in nearly 2 months, the kart champ cars battle on an oval this weekend. The mile at Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Some say it's got 5, some call it 9 turns, but either way, it's the Bosch Sparkplug Grand Prix this afternoon at Roger Penske Speedway. The captain certainly ought to be happy with qualifying results. Team Penske's Paul Tracy bouncing back from that $25,000 rough driving fine at Long Beach. Tracy setting a new world record for speed on a 1-mile track to earn the pole.
Crew did a great job. You know, obviously the car was handling well. This is a handling track, and Mercedes gave us great power, and a lot of credit goes to Goodyear. They really stepped up with their tire program here and gave us an opportunity to be on the pole. So, and with the downforce changes from last year and engine changes, it's pretty exciting to be able to break last year's record.
There's Tracy's Mark 191 won the new world record. He'll be joined up front by Michael Andretti, who pleased the hometown crowd. Patrick Carpentier, the kart rookie, his best qualifying effort so far, goes third. Tracy's teammate Al Jr. outside row 4. Meanwhile, Bosch Sparkplug's announcing this week they have extended their deal to remain the title sponsor of the Nazareth event through the year 2000. We'll have highlights from the Bosch Grand Prix tonight here, the PM edition of Race Day at 10 o'clock Eastern. And there's more to come on this Sunday. A look at yesterday's Busch Grand National Bash at Talladega. Would it be the series' recognized Top Gun or the new kid on the block? We'll show you. The NHRA stars blast through the Virginia countryside to the Pennzoil Nationals finals. We'll preview that when Race Day rolls on.
Race Day is brought to you by Mopar, Chrysler Corporation Parts, and the Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Jeep, and Eagle dealers who sell and install them. And by Rogaine, the only product medically proven to regrow hair for men and women.
Welcome back on Race Day. For the first 5 years, the Busch Series stars had raced at Talladega. No pole sitter had ever been able to win, but that was then when the race was held in July. Yesterday's rain-delayed event, the first springtime run at the big track for the Busch Series stars, and it gives us our Rogaine hair-raising finish. Joe Nemechek would lead him to the green on Saturday, but Tim Steele in James Finch's car would quickly grab the point. He'd lead the first lap. A lot of race traffic forward, nearly 5 wide at times at Talladega, and before 5 laps are in, Bill Parsons shows you how strong his channel lock machine is going to the front of the 10 car. Elliott Sadler, Tracy Leslie right behind. 7 laps in, big bash on the tri-oval. Buckshot Jones, Randy LaJoie get together. Buckshot goes around, collects Joe Nemechek, the pole sitter. Mike McLaughlin gets up in front of Dennis Setzer. Wow, big hit there. Elton Sawyer will lose the left front wheel, and an oil fire blows out the back end of the 38 car. Everybody's okay. Sets up the restart here on lap 17. Parsons still on the point with Sadler, Leslie, Steele, and Mike Dillon in the top 5. Steve Park off his first BGN win last Saturday night at Nashville, also up front. Bill Parsons' time there wouldn't last long. Motor troubles take the 10 car out early. After 30 laps, everybody's Busch Series favorite Mark Martin's on the move. His 0 for 5 streak here. One of the few BGN tracks where he'd had no luck. Martin up to 3rd early on. A few laps later, Martin would climb past Steve Park with his inside move, parking the Earnhardt 3, and Martin is out front. Fuel strategy, a big part of this Saturday show. Some drivers play the cautions just right, trying to go all the way on 2 fuel stops. One of those gambling, Michael Waltrip, but Mike would stall coming out of the pits, has to be pushed away. That strategy would put him in shape for a good finish. Not enough, though, to get by Martin. One driver did have something left for the stretch run, and for Martin, Steve Park. Park pulls up on Martin with less than 10 to go. Wants a little drafting help to try to get by the 30, but he doesn't get it. So Park will try to muscle by Martin on his own with 3 laps remaining. But Martin covers every move. Too strong. He holds off Park to take his 5th Busch Series win of the year. It also ties Mark for the most career Busch wins with 31. Afterwards, Martin had nothing but praise for the runner-up finisher yesterday.
He really shouldn't even been able to make it that interesting without any help. He didn't have much for help there, or he could have pulled it off. He had a fast car, and we did too, and we happened to be in front.
Here's how the top 10 stacked up. Steve Park, Jeff Green, and a nice 4th for Kyle Petty. Ron Barfield and Dick Trickle close out the top 10. Point leader, former point leader Todd Modine comes home 8th. Here's how your point standings look after 11 rounds. Randy LaJoie still out in front by a dozen over Bodine. Jeff Green, Phil Parsons, and Dick Trickle the rest of the first 5, and we will hear a little more from the winner and more on the Big Crash Saturday coming up in a few moments here on Race Day. Time now for our Mopar Performance Update. It takes us to Richmond, where after a week off, the NHRA Straight Line stars pick up the title chase at the Virginia Motorsports Park near Richmond. TNN's Bob Fry is there for us to preview the Pennzoil Nationals. Bob, quite a milestone reached in pro stock this weekend.
Rick, the last big barrier that a lot of us will probably see in our lifetime in the sport of drag racing was finally shattered here at the Pennzoil Nationals when Warren Johnson took his GM Performance Parts Pontiac over the 200-mile-per-hour barrier. Warren, it's a big load off your shoulders. You got 25 grand for doing it, but probably more important to you, the satisfaction of knowing you were the first to break 200.
Well, we do appreciate the 25 grand from Federal Mogul. There's no doubt about that. But the accomplishment itself, that was the most important.
We're probably not going to see too many barriers shattered in this sport in our lifetime, are we?
Well, major barriers such as the 200-mile-an-hour in Pro Stock, the 300-mile-an-hour in Top Fuel and Funny Car, yeah, those barriers have already been shattered. So I don't think there's going to be a barrier, if you will, broken in our lifetime.
In addition to that, Warren also qualified #1 at a 6.89. Other #1 qualifiers here were Team Winston, Gary Selzy to 4.64. He gets the $4,000 low qualifying bonus. And in Funny Car, to nobody's surprise, John Force at 491. He's light years out in front of the rest of the field. I should note that in addition to the 25 grand from Speed Pro, Warren gets $15,000 from MBNA for the World Record Club, coupled up with the 50 grand he won from the Winston Invitational. That's 90 grand in bonus money the last couple of weeks. Can I hitch up for a few bucks?
Well, if you replace that 78 Dodge Aspen, we'll talk about it.
Just thought I'd ask. Anyway, congratulations to Warren Johnson.
And WJ will have the poll for the Pro Stock Finals. We'll have all the highlights for you from Richmond tonight on Race Day. When we continue this Sunday, a look at some early testing, looking ahead to the big money month of May at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And the Winston 500 in Talladega, if we run today, could be the second stop on the way to a huge payday for Jeff Gordon. We'll take you to the tote board when Race Day rolls on.
Race Day is brought to you by Kawasaki All-Terrain Vehicles. Call 1-800-661-RIDE for the dealer nearest you.
Welcome back to Race Day. Testing underway this week at Charlotte Motor Speedway. A handful of Winston Cup drivers dodging the rain and the cold temperatures to get a jump start on what will be a very busy month of May with a lot of money up. Ricky Rudd had a camouflage Tide Ford out for a couple of laps under the lights, as did Rusty Wallace, one of the Penske machines. No one doing any long runs, just some quick setup checks. Also on the mile and a half, Bobby Hamilton took his Petty car to the fastest lap of the day at more than 182 miles an hour. They're looking for two good cars.
What we'll do, we'll figure out which car we want to run, then we'll spend the rest of our test on that one car. And, of course, we're in the Winston, and we got to figure out what car we want to run in the Winston, because you're liable to lose one there. We got to figure out which one we don't care about losing, which one we want to run in the 600. So that's a decision we got to make.
We've got two cars. One we're looking at running the Open, one we're looking at running the 600, and we're trying different things on different cars. And seeing, one car is going to be primarily set up to be run on short runs. The other car we're setting it up to really to qualify fast for one lap.
Well, there's more testing to come for the Winston Cup stars before the Winston weekend. You'll see the Winston Saturday night, May 17th, live, of course, here on TNN Motorsports. Well, Charlotte's Coca-Cola 600 at the end of the month of May will be the third leg of the Winston Million bonus plan. Now, one driver in today's Talladega chase has a leg up on that big check, while two others lost their chance at the big money last season at Talladega. Race Day's Matt Yoakum back with us now on Jeff Gordon's try for the big money.
The Winston 500 is the second of the four Crown Jewel races. Since 1985, only Bill Elliott has won the Winston Million. Jeff Gordon kicked off his $1 million drive, winning the Daytona 500 this season. The odds are in Gordon's favor, considering his past performances on tracks under the bonus plan. But the Rainbow Warriors aren't overconfident.
The way I feel, I was like, it's way too early to be thinking about Winston Million time. I mean, yeah, I guess we're one of the candidates, but somebody can come out of here and win this race, and then they'll be a candidate.
Dale Jarrett was the last guy to have a shot at the million. He came up one win short. Still, DJ eyes that other $1 million prize, the championship.
The way that you focus on that is by focusing on winning races. And obviously, Jeff Gordon's not going to stop trying to win. Terry Labonte's not going to stop winning races. So, we've got to continue in that same mode. And that's what we have to do. And that's how you will be at the head table in New York in December.
Last July, Talladega ended Dale Earnhardt's 1996 bid for the record 8th championship. The man in black is Talladega's all-time win leader with 7 victories, but he's winless on the tour in 35 stops. Earnhardt wants to end the bad luck where it began, at Talladega.
It's a good racetrack to win at. We won here quite a few times, and I love racing here. So, what happened here last year don't have any bearing on what's going to happen here Sunday. So we go out and try to win.
For this trio, a lot of money and momentum is on the line, and they all know that Talladega can snatch it out from under their feet in an instant. Rick?
All right, thanks, Matt. Now, Earnhardt and Darrell Waltrip almost won the million. They, along with 3 others, came up one win short. Harry Gant and Davey Allison in '92. Dale Jarrett last year. Truly the story of the big one that got away. We'll see how Mr. Gordon does today or tomorrow or in a couple of weeks, depending on the rain. More to come on this high-speed edition of Race Day. The Indy 500 a month away, and we'll tell you about some new backing for one of this year's probable favorites. And back to Talladega, where the Busch Series stars spent Saturday getting in touch with one another. A lot of blame to go around. The story coming up.
Promotional fee and consideration paid by Gladiator and Universal Luxury Vans, the official van of tracks, teams, and drivers throughout the NASCAR world. Call 1-800-445-2825 for a dealer near you. Race fans, kick off the 1997 NASCAR season with this exclusive offer, an authentic TNN Motorsports NASCAR Thunder mini helmet made by Simpson Race Products. Call today or visit your local NASCAR Thunder store to purchase this one-of-a-kind limited edition collectible. Call 1-800-338-6016.
Welcome back. The Busch Grand National Stars put on a very wild show yesterday afternoon at the huge Talladega Tri-Oval. The fun got started on lap 7. Buckshot Jones, Randy LaJoie into the Tri-Oval, and they got together. We'll show it to you here, touching off a wild incident. 9 cars involved. This one put 3 cars out of the race. LaJoie and Jones not happy, obviously, and after the race, they blamed each other for how this skirmish got started and how it played out.
You know, I thought he was a champion, but I mean, I thought I was a rookie. But, I mean, he drove like a rookie to me today. I mean, that's totally uncalled for. It took out a bunch of good cars.
We're in a pack of cars, and he checked up, and I checked up, and I got hit, and I hit him. And off he went. Then a little idiot decides to spin me out. I guess he thought we're at Little Talladega instead of Big Talladega. And we'll have a little talk with him. I'm not sure if he knows where he's at, but that's why this race team's 2-time champs, and he's still a Friday night racer.
Well, after the cleanup, the race boiled down to a great battle late between Steve Park and Mark Martin, the rookie chasing the veteran inside, outside, all the way to the stripe.
So we're going to have something for Mark, and, you know, we had Dale on the radio kind of telling us where to go and then try to get hooked up with the 85, and we laid back and tried to get a run, and we tried to stay on his bumper.
He's awesome, I tell you what. There at the end, I felt like I was racing Dale Earnhardt. I'm sure Dale was in his ear. He was doing an awful fine job of doing what Dale said. He had a really fast car.
Yesterday's event, the 11th in 11 straight weeks for the Busch Series Tour. They finally get a week off. The Busch Stars will go to the mile in Loudon, New Hampshire, May the 10th. You'll see that event live here on TNN Motorsports. Well, the 81st Indy 500 is less than a month off, the first under the new IRL engine formula. The entry list is out now. One of the names on that list is Indy veteran John Paul Jr. Paul's PDM Racing announcing major new sponsorship this week from Indiana-based Clip Speakers. JPJ will try to make his 7th Indy field this year. With more money available, he's hoping to improve on his last year's finish.
I can feel the difference in my driving. You know, it makes it flow. You just get confidence in your abilities, and you can tell a difference in, you know, in your talent. It definitely helps. I can taste it. I want to win this race so much. I'd be thrilled to be here in another month. We're going to do our damnedest to win it.
New color combination for John Paul, who ran well at Disney World and also at Phoenix in the early part of the IRL season. More on the road to Indy tonight, 10 Eastern, the PM edition of Race Day right here. Well, the Formula One stars chasing this year's World Championship are at Imola, Italy today. The Grand Prix of San Marino early this morning, U.S. time, and it was a big day for the Germans. Heinz-Harald Frentzen and Michael Schumacher finished 1-2. Not such a good day for pole sitter Jacques Villeneuve, who went out early. He finished 14th, but still manages to hang on to the lead in the championship standings. By the way, Villeneuve, according to published reports in France, could be considering a return to kart in 2 years. Jacques says he doesn't like proposed rules changes in F1 that he thinks will put the cars at their limit well before the drivers reach theirs. We'll keep you posted, and we'll have F1 highlights tonight. The World of Outlaws racing in Iowa this weekend. Sammy Swindell takes the Friday night feature at Knoxville. Swindell winning $4,500, beating Mark Kinzer and Dave Blaney, Steve Kinzer and Greg Hoddett. Now, the main show was run last night, and Mark Kinzer won the main event, the A-Main, last night for the Outlaws. They'll run tonight at Huset's in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We'll have more on the Winged Warriors weekend for you tonight here on Race Day. And there's more to come this morning on our early edition as we break a preview of what's coming up tonight at 10. And here's what's available motorsports-wise on television for you this afternoon. Talladega, assuming the rain stops. We'll be right back with more. Welcome back to Race Day. You know, one of racing's highest honors was conferred Thursday night on one of our own. TNN's Buddy Baker, part of this year's class of inductees into the International Motorsports Hall of Fame over at Talladega.
You know, they say you judge yourself by the company you keep, and the people I was inducted with last night, that was incredible. I mean, I sat there and thought about, you know, Richard Petty and Ralph Earnhardt, and and Rick Mears and all the people that were in that room to be inducted. Thank God I'm in there. You know, it means so much to me to finally be recognized as one of the drivers that people feel ought to be in the International Hall of Fame. It's tremendous.
Others in the class, as Buddy mentioned, King Richard Petty, Rick Mears, Dale Earnhardt's dad, the legendary dirt track star Ralph Earnhardt, Big Daddy Don Garlitz, and the creator of the Chaparral, Jim Hall, all inducted Thursday night. Our congratulations to Buddy and all of this year's new Hall of Famers. Well, that's race day for now this Sunday. Thanks for being with us. We will be back tonight at 10 Eastern with all the scoop on Talladega, either the rain out or the race, the Car Champ Cars at Nazareth, the Outlaws, the NHRA, and a whole lot more tonight here. Join us for race day.